Hello, today we're taking a look at how to access software on an HPC system. On the typical HPC system, there may be a large number of software packages installed with multiple versions of them available. We have a large number of users, and each user may have varying needs for software. Using the module command, we are able to load and unload software packages in our environment. When you first log into the cluster on the login node, you can run the module avail command and get a full list of software that can be loaded on that machine. Initially, on the login node, you may not see a lot of packages available. However, if we were to log into a compute node using an interactive job, we now see a much larger list of available software. The software that we install on these clusters is very tightly tied to the hardware that it is running on. We have a number of different CPU types, a number of different GPU types. Most of the software that we install is compiled from source code and takes advantage of the CPU instructions available on that machine. So if we were to install a version of Python on one machine, for instance, it may segfault and break if we run it on another machine. So logging into one partition on Lakeshore, you may find that there is different software available there versus another one. Running the module avail command, as we just saw, lists all of the software available on that machine. If we wanted to see just the versions of Python that are available, we can run module avail Python. In this case, we see these different versions of Python that are available, which have all been built against the CPU of the compute node that we're running on. The version of Python listed with a D is the default. If I take a look and see where Python is installed on this compute node, we can see that it exists here. If we check the version of Python, it is 3.9.16. This is the version of Python that is installed system-wide on this compute node. If I needed a specific version of Python, for example, this, I can run module load Python. Running like this, we'll load the default version. If I wanted a different version, I could load it with the entire path of the module name. Now that I've loaded this module, I can look and I see that Python is being called from a different location, and the version that I have loaded is 3.11.5. If I want to see all of the software that I have loaded in my environment, I can type module list. And in this case, we see that there are a number of other packages that are loaded. Typically, when we run module load, additional dependent packages will be loaded along with it. For this version of Python, we may need to have OpenSSL and SQLite and TCL and some of these other pieces of supporting software loaded in order to make it work. If I no longer needed this version of Python and wanted to go back to the default version installed on the node, I can clear the software that I have loaded with the module purge command. Now, if we list what software is available, nothing is loaded in my environment. And the version of Python is back to the normal. The module command can be used in a submit script by simply calling the module command, the module that we want to load, before the program that we are going to execute. In this case, this is a very basic Slurm submit script. and we are going to take a look at the version of Python that's available, load a Python module, and then check the version again. Our program has finished running. Now we can take a look. This is the version that was loaded initially, and this is the version that was loaded after we loaded our module command.